host Taylor Inman. We're going over the biggest headlines this week for Northwest Montana. A 30-year-old man received a pair of suspended sentences in Flathead County District Court for allegedly instigating a chase through Columbia Falls last year that involved firearms. Prosecutors accused Charles Delaney Warren of pursuing a gray SUV while it headed down Railroad Street on September 16, 2023. Warren, riding in a tan pickup truck, began following the SUV closely before passing it closely enough that the driver and the passenger feared a collision, according to court documents. Court documents allege that after swerving around for a while, Warren pulled into a turnout and let the SUV pass. He then pulled out and resumed tailgating them. Warren passed the SUV a second time, allegedly again narrowly missing colliding with it. The other driver made a U-turn and unsuccessfully tried to shake Warren, according to court documents. The passenger in the SUV later allegedly told authorities that he fired one round from a shotgun during the chase. Court documents said Warren eventually cut the vehicle off on Railroad Street, where the driver of the SUV tried to reverse but became stuck on a curb. With the SUV stranded, Warren allegedly got out of his truck armed with a black 10mm pistol. Court documents said that when approaching the SUV, he racked the slide, inadvertently jamming the gun. He was racking it a second and third time when the Columbia Falls police officers arrived at about 9:33 p.m. Officers reported seeing him toss a black object into his pickup before complying with their commands. Investigators suspected it was the pistol. Authorities breath tested Warren after smelling the odor of alcohol on him and noting his bloodshot eyes and slurred speech. Court documents said the sample returned with a breath alcohol concentration of .156. Charged with felony criminal endangerment and misdemeanor driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, Warren initially pleaded not guilty, but he struck a deal with prosecutors in February. In exchange for guilty pleas, prosecutors agreed to recommend he serve a suspended 3-year term with the State Department of Corrections on the felony count and a partially suspended 1-year sentence in county jail for the drunk driving misdemeanor. At Warren's April 11th sentencing, Judge Dan Wilson stuck to the terms of the agreement. He handed down a suspended 3-year sentence for criminal endangerment and a 1-year sentence with all but 7 days suspended for driving under the influence. He gave Warren credit for 21 days of time served. Health officials say that an active tuberculosis case in Flathead County is under control. The patient had recently moved to Montana and was exposed to active tuberculosis in a different state, according to county health officials. They declined to provide other specifics, citing patient privacy. Flathead County Population Health Manager Lisa Dennison said the patient remained in isolation for the required amount of time, received adequate treatment for their illness, and is no longer considered infectious. A county investigation revealed the individual had minimal close contacts, all of which were contacted by the health department and received follow-up care. She said at this time there is no further risk to the public. Tuberculosis, a bacterial infection that primarily affects a patient's lungs, is a reportable disease per the state's administrative rules. If a patient is diagnosed with tuberculosis, their medical provider will report that to the county, who will conduct an investigation. Officials previously discussed the case at a November 21st meeting at the Flathead City County Board of Health. As of November, the department had 24 reported cases of tuberculosis in 2024, 23 latent cases and 1 active case. Individuals with latent tuberculosis are symptom-free and can't spread the disease. Doctors and county officials see tuberculosis cases, while not overly common, nearly every year. Trends had been decreasing up to 2020, according to the 2021 data from the Montana Department for Public Health and Human Services, the most recent data available. That year, the state saw 3 individuals with active tuberculosis, and the rate of the disease was 0.3 cases per 100,000 people. While the state lacks updated tuberculosis figures for years after 2021, the County Health Board reported 14 latent cases and no active cases in 2022. Tuberculosis rates have increased nationwide since 2020, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. During the first year of the pandemic, cases decreased by 19.4%, but case counts and incidence rates have increased since 2021. In 2023, case counts exceeded pre-pandemic levels, according to the Federal Health Agency. In October of this year, the World Health Organization published a report finding that about 8.2 million people were diagnosed with some form of tuberculosis across the globe, the highest number recorded since the organization began monitoring the disease in 1995. Tuberculosis can be spread by breathing in bacteria from a person with the active disease, but depending on a person's immune system and other factors, they may only develop latent tuberculosis. When properly treated, some individuals with latent tuberculosis can go their whole lives with no problems from the disease. According to Dennison, in up to 15% of tuberculosis cases, latent tuberculosis does turn active. Treatment for tuberculosis takes months, and the Flathead County patient continues to receive care for the disease. Kalispell is moving away from composting its biosolids, owing to public concerns surrounding forever chemicals and the potential closure of its vendor's composting facility. At its December 9th meeting, Kalispell City Council weighed disposal options for the city's biosolids, drawing on a report from engineering consulting firm AE2S. The municipality sends 70% of its biosolids to Glacier Gold composting and the rest to the Flathead County landfill. Glacier Gold has tentative plans to close its bagging and distribution facility in Olney, according to city documents. The city's agreement with the firm expires in March of 2025, but Public Works Director Susie Turner said she is working on extending it. Although nothing was formally decided on Monday, Council appeared in agreement to turn the Flathead County landfill to take its supply and invest in dewatering equipment to meet the landfill's standards. The new and upgraded equipment has a projected cost of $6.8 million, according to the AE2S report. Biosolids, also known as sewage sludge, are a product of the wastewater treatment process. The solids are treated to create a nutrient-rich product that can be used in compost and be a natural fertilizer. While composted biosolids can be a sustainable and nutrient-rich option for farms, Environmental Protection Agency tests have found hundreds of pollutants in biosolids, including PFAS. The chemicals are widely used and long-lasting, often employed in water-repelling products such as non-stick cookware and waterproof jackets. Counselor Ryan Hunter said, quote, "If you asked me 2 years ago where I would be on this, I would definitely have been on the composting side. But the whole PFAS question comes in and totally changes that equation," end quote. While the EPA has rolled out regulations on PFAS in drinking water, the same has not yet been done to biosolids. Scott Bucher, project manager with AE2S, said the federal agency will be coming out with a risk assessment by the year's end, but expects that regulations will be up to the states. Bucher said PFAS are present in Kalispell's biosolids, but that is relatively low compared to utilities across the United States that have started testing. States that have started to initiate their own regulations are calling anything below 20 to 30 parts per billion as not an issue. According to Bucher, the AE2S report found that Kalispell's treatment center contains 2 parts per billion of PFOS. The AE2S report provided 2 options that would eliminate PFAS in the waste, but Bucher said the technology is new and comes with a price tag. Thanks for joining us. News Now is a podcast from the Daily Interlake. We're proud to be the largest independent newsroom in Montana and the oldest paper in the Valley. Local journalism is important, and subscribing to your local newspaper is one of the best things you can do for your community. The Daily Interlake is celebrating its 135th birthday with a special subscription offer of only $19.50 per month for a home-delivered newspaper, plus full digital access to all 8 of our award-winning independent newspapers. Give us a call at 406-755-7018 to sign up today and do your part to keep community journalism alive and thriving. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of the pod. Everybody stay safe and have a great week. Thanks to our sponsor, Lauren's Auto Repair at 1309 US Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit laurensauto.com.